So in step 8, what we want to do is subdivide our parcels into residential lots. So we're going to save this as step 8. And I'm going to change the view for a few things here. So I'm going to go into my surface and show borders only. So surface properties, border only. And then I'm going to work with my layers here, and I don't need to see my corridor right now. So one of the things that we can do is we can click on this layer off command, which allows us to select a series of objects to turn off those layers. And we'll hit enter, and we may have to use the regen command to make them all go away. But what that does is it hides our corridor so we can get a better view of our parcel here. What we're going to be working with are our parcel creation tools, so let's click on that. And the first things we want to do are come over here and actually zone off this area, which is probably an existing lot. And then we want to do a little bit of work down here because this is an existing lot as well. So we're going to use the free form create tools. Actually, we're going to be using some lines, and then we'll create the objects from the lines. So we'll go to the line command here, and I'm just going to create a line from endpoint to endpoint and hit escape. Go to parcel, create parcel from object, and click on this object here. And just make sure it's on the correct site here. And the area style, we'll go name, square foot, and acres. So there's a property. Take it off of this property here. And we want to create a couple more lines as well to zone off this region of our main property. So again, we'll just use the line command. Maybe come off of this extension line using object snap tracking, and then we'll maybe create a line that's kind of parallel to our road here. And then we use the trim command, trim all objects, and just divvy that up. Parcel again from objects, pick these two lines, and again name, square foot, and area, erase the existing entities. And now I've got another property here, and that label didn't quite work, so let me redo it here. So you can see we've got this lot down here that's existing, we've got a lot over here, and now we've got this main chunk, we've got a middle chunk here, and this side chunk. What we want to do is look at some of these parcel creation tools, so we can click on this more details command here, and we can set some sizings. So let's set the minimum area to 17,500 square feet, which is about 0.4 acres. The minimum frontage will be 90 feet. Use minimum frontage at offset, sure. We'll use an offset of 15 feet, so that's where they're going to measure the frontal area. Min depth, width, max depth, and then we can use all these defaults as well. What we want to do is divvy up this parcel here. Your property may be named differently than mine, but we're going to go into our slide line create, subdevelopment. Let's call these names square foot and acres again. Hit OK. We're going to divide up that property, and now what we want to do is select a start point on our frontage. So we'll click over here at this endpoint, and now what we need to do is kind of trace along the boundary of our parcel, and I'll end up over here. It's going to want to ask for how we're specifying angles. We'll specify an angle of 90 degrees there, and then what we can see is the red is going to be our parcel lines. This is kind of the offset and frontal area here. And these look okay. We'll make some minor modifications to them, but we'll accept those for now. We'll hit escape and hit escape again. This line here just doesn't work, so I'm going to select it and hit delete. And now you can see I've got two really large properties here in comparison to my 0.4 acre lots. So what I would like to do is move this one over a little bit to create a 0.4 acre lot, and we can just drag this using the slide line here. and then I'm going to divide this kind of right around here. So we'll go back to parcel creation tools. We'll just add in a freeform create here. Whoops. And that did not do what I wanted, so I'm going to delete that one. So parcel creation tools, freeform create. I need to click on the front line here first, and then my back line. So here we can see we've got a 0.47 and a 0.5, so maybe we'll make this one a little bit bigger as well to even these out. So shift right click, nearest, and drag it over here. Alright, so now we've got that section divvied up. The next thing we want to do is divide up this area here, and what we're going to want to do is maybe put a retention pond in the middle. So I'm going to go to my offset command and use an offset of 100 feet, so these lots will be 100 foot deep. I'm going to offset from my right-of-way inward, and that gives me this object. And let's do just a little bit more work here. I'm going to use the explode command to blow up my polyline here, and I'm going to delete a couple of these chunks for now. I'm going to use the extend command, extend all, and draw that line straight down, and then I'm going to draw another line in here just to connect these two, so I can delete these existings just to make that a simpler line. And then I want to offset this over about 25 feet, so offset 25 feet to create a little access way back to this retention pond. And then we use the trim command and fix up these features here. Gotta get that line as well. And now we're going to do parcel from objects, so we'll pick these objects here, hit enter, and that'll divide these up into two different properties. And so now we can use that same tool to create parcels all around that lot. So parcel creation tools, we can just go right to it since we've already got our parameters set. We're going to hit OK, and then we're going to divide up this property, pick this as our frontal area, trace it all the way around to our endpoint, hit OK, and accept that, and that actually looks pretty good. There's this last lot that acquired the extra area, but that's within acceptable ranges for us here. They just have a little bit bigger lot. And then we need to go about dividing up this last chunk here as well. So I'm going to put a line in to break this into a couple chunks. So I'll go from this curve over to there, and then I don't really like how that looks, so I'll just grab onto my object snap and go nearest and straighten that out a little bit. And so now I'm going to divide this up into a parcel. So parcel objects, enter, OK, and then parcel creation tools, hit OK, and we'll divide up that parcel starting over here and tracing along to our endpoint. And you can see we've got one rather large lot here just because it didn't quite fit, but we can divide that in half. So we're going to use a line here, parcel creation tools. We'll use a freeform create. That'll divide that up, and now we have a 0.4 and a 0.38, so that's close enough. And then the last bit of work we have to do is divide up our areas over here. So let's check our distances. I've again got this roadway on, so let me turn that back off. And then use the regen command. And I'm just going to check a distance from this point over to about there, and that's 84 feet, so that's a decent size. If we check the distance between our two right-of-ways here, it's about 200 feet. So let's just divide this up down the middle. So we use some more, I'll just use a polyline here from midpoint, kind of down the middle. Over to there. Let's just check these distances. So from that point over to that point, that's about 100 feet. So this lot will get a little squeezed, but we'll manage by making that a bit deeper. So we can finish up creating the parcels for this lot down here. So again, we'll create a parcel from objects. Click on this line, and now we have two parcels, and we can use the parcel creation tool again on this segment. So we'll click on that parcel for the frontal area. We'll go to the endpoint, trace along to this endpoint, and those lots look reasonably sized. The last lot's only a little bit bigger than the others, and then we'll work on this cul-de-sac area, which may be a little bit different. So again, we'll go to parcel creation tools, click on the parcel to modify. Let's start at this end and trace around, see what it comes up with for us. And let's accept that for now. Oops, that undid it. Let's try that again. That looks good. And let's take a look at these last two here. So this one's 0.4, but it's very narrow, and this one's 0.68, so we'll just slide this line down. Even those out a little bit and give this lot a bit more frontage. These look okay. That's quite a big lot, but that's fine. And there we have it. We've got all of our parcels subdivided. So again, yours may not look exactly the same, but the goal here is to get our entire lot divided, keeping in mind that these lots here and here are going to be existing lots that we've just cordoned off at the start, and the rest of them then would be lots that we would be developing.